Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And today, and of course you can see by the title of the video today, we're going on a bit of a, not a rant, bit of a topic, should we say, that some people think's quite relevant. Me personally, I'll get into my feelings on it. Anybody who watches me knows what I feel like about certain things. So this one is, am I too old for these? Now this isn't just me, this is just in general. People think that these sort of fragrances I'm going to show, this type, and I'll just sort of discuss a little bit, are probably a bit too youthful, so for somebody of my age, which is 45 now, and whether I would sort of agree or not, I probably wouldn't agree to some extent, but then I can sort of see where people are coming from. I'm going to move the camera a little bit. It was a bit too close. So we're going to start with, so you're going to go on sort of like some brands and lines and fragrances. And so back in the day, this was quite popular, and it was popular with well, the original was quite popular with sort of clubbers, so yeah, sort of a younger, maybe into the 20s, and it is the Le Male range. But you could still get away with Le Male when you was a little older, and there's some different fragrances from Jean Paul Gaultier, not just in the Le Male range, which, you know, you could get away with up to say maybe 40 or 45, something like that. But in today, when this line from Jean Paul Gaultier, yeah, it's aimed at the more youthful crowd. So am I too old for these, or anything, for any of the Le Male sort of range, or the Le Beau range and that? In a world that we're in, where people defy a certain sort of smell like this, when you talk going down the fragrances route, to a certain age, then then yes, they're gonna see these as youthful. And personally, I do see a lot of the range from the Le Male definitely aimed at these sort of more youthful ones, the ones that want to go to like nightclubs and all that kind of stuff. But then you've got younger people which don't like the nightclubs, don't do that sort of thing. They're a little bit more mature. They'd rather go to like a bar, or like a proper bar if they're going out, or just going pub for meals and things like that. And then you've got the ones that love the clubbing. So the Le Male range is aimed, yes, is aimed a little more towards the youthful crowd. And similar to this line now, not just the line but the house in general now as well, there are a couple of examples that you could probably get away with in this, from the Joop, not just Joop line but the Joop house as general. A bit of a mixed bag. Most people will say, oh, especially Joop is sweet, and it's childish, it's youthful, and I would probably agree with this. I don't wear this that often, because I even find it a bit sort of too much, a bit sweet, youthful. But I've got memories attached to the scent, so I wear it occasionally. But I am aware that I do smell a little childish, yeah. But is what is. I know people who are like 10-15 years older than me that rock this, and I've smelt it on them. I've worked with one fella, and yeah, it does. Even for me, with the way I think of things, which we'll come to later, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that goes, and I'm not like that. But I smelt this on somebody who was aging towards, say, he was 55, 60, something like that, and it was like, it just doesn't fit. And again, I don't think like that. So this sort of range, yes, things like this, but the Joop house used to do things like What About Adam, and those sort of range where it was a bit of a sort of in between. It was a bit of sort of middle-aged sort of sense. You can go with some. I mean, like this one, it's got a little bit of the DNA of the original Joop on Wild, but it's got a lot of spices, not sweet, a lot of spices, and a bit of a sort of a alcoholic-y sort of rum kind of accord in there, and it brings that youthful side down a bit, and the sort of in between. Now even this one though, it's got like a slight coconutty edge to it, which then brings the age back down again. So it's a bit up and down, this one. It smells a little bit for a little older person, but still in their 20s, if you know what I mean. This say like late 20s, early 30s kind of age. I like this. I rock it, and I'm not feeling particularly uncomfortable while wearing Joop on Wild. But there is that like childish, almost childish tone of the original in there, with this sort of again slightly childlike coconutty edge, youthful coconutty edge. I shouldn't say childish. Coconutty edge to it, and I'm aware of, but I like that. So that is an alternative. If you like the Joop house, that could be an alternative. Or there's something like this one. It's like a green freshie with a bit of sweetness. Now that sweetness, yes, that will bring it down the age a little bit to more of a youthful scent, but this one has got like a rhubarb, which again then brings the age up a little bit. So it's fresh, definitely like a green scent, fresh, but it's got like a sweetness. And I mean, this was out before any sort of fresh and sweet fragrances was popular, and the Joop one was doing one. But it's the sort of rhubarb top note in this that sort of it stops you going, again, childish. So that's a good alternative. And this, although it is a bit youthful smelling, Joop Go, you can rock that. So that's the sort of Joop house. Yeah, I can see where people come from. Now next, again, the Versace house and the Eros line. The Versace house used to actually be more, not towards sort of youthful, more sort of in the in-between sort of age, with their fragrances. And I've got some on the shelf. I've got the couple of Versace lines. I've got Dreamer and all that. They're more on the sort of slightly more mature, not old manish by any means, but more sort of mid-20s onwards sort of range. That's where they used to be. And now things like the Versace Eros, excuse me, and there's different variants of different types of scents from them, different ranges. But I'm picking on the Eros one. I would say, again, yeah, on the sort of more youthful side, if you're rocking this and you're like my age or older, you might come across to some people as you're wearing the sort of wrong fragrance. But there are some in this line that actually bring out more of an older type scent, less sweet, less bubblegummy, less childish, again, youthful. It's got more spicy and more woody and that, so you've got to really try the range of something like this. So when it comes to Versace, yes, their marketing is more, and their fragrance do tend to go more towards the youthful side, as a lot of them do these days. But they do also bring out some for the more mature, so you just got to sort of try some Versace. One, again, with they used to do more masculine stuff, and now they've gone the complete opposite, and they've gone nearly all sort of on the more youthful edge, and that is Paco Rabanne. and more so on their sort of Invictus line. There are some again in the Invictus line that you could probably get away with if you're a bit older, but I would say, yeah, you probably a bit, if you're my age or older, you probably want to stay away from this sort of line. If you somebody who wants to put out the fact that you've got a fragrance on which is designed for your age, you probably want to stay away from this particular line. Clean, fresh, citrusy, but it's got like a youthful sweetness edge. This one a bit darker but a lot sweeter. Definitely got like a youthful grapefruity, space sweet, candy grapefruity kind of smell going on with this Invictus Victory, the original one, the EDP I think it is. Definitely gives off got a strong sweetness. The only one, this one though, has got sort of like an incensey sort of dry down with that sweetness. So you can get away with it sort of at my age, maybe a little older, but any older than say 50 I would say, I don't know. But the Invictus line, even like this one that smells a little bit more mature, but only way a bit, you really would probably want to stay away from these if that's what you're sort of going for. They used to do, you know, for all masculine scents, this one being Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, more barbershop, dad top scent. So I looked into some of their older stuff if they're still around. So we'll get into the bit where it's sort of my opinion, and I'm someone who's never thought about what other people think. If I like something and if I want to wear Jean Paul at the age of 60, I probably will. Would I be aware that the aura from some people will probably think, oh, why are you wanting to smell like a young man? Yeah, but someone who actually really don't care what the people think. However, if it's just not necessarily the right way of thinking, not for everybody. Okay, I understand that not everyone's like me, where they just don't care. Okay, and in a way that is the wrong way of thinking to some degree, because people are going to think, what's that old man smelling like a young man for? Is he trying to is he trying to pretend he's young or whatever? And I will know that probably will happen at some point. I'm wearing something like this, and in somebody's head somewhere, that's probably what they're thinking. But me, as my personality, I don't care. I wear what I want when I want. If I want to wear Jean Paul in the summertime, I will. And you know what? There's not a damn thing you can do about it. So, freedom of choice, freedom of speech, whatever. Well, maybe not so much these days. You get deleted off YouTube like that. But if you are, I think the proper way of thinking really is wear something that fits your personality more than your age. Okay. If you're a bit more youthful, bouncy, childy, then wear something a little bit like this. It would probably go down well, even if you're an older person. You're coming across more fun and energetic. You could probably get away with it. If you're like your typical old man, miserable old git, and you're trying to rock Eros, yeah, it's probably not going to be working very well. You're going to look like you're tapped. Well, if you, like I say, if you are somebody who actually thinks this way, like you want to try and match your age and maybe your maturity, maybe your personality, and you're older, then probably things like this really aren't going to be on your radar. You really want to not look at these. You want to look at some other things. So, question on the video is, am I too old for these? In a normality setting, probably yes. in my personality, I'll wear what I want. So thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the video. I will be coming out next with am I too young for these videos. This next one, I've got what, 5 cents over there, which quite a difference really, because I would say, yeah, you probably are too young for those. Very, very different. The youthful stuff you can get away with when you're a bit older, but if you're younger and you're wearing the older stuff, a bit of a two-way there. Okay, so in my opinion. So the next video, probably going to be on the weekend if you're watching this when I upload it, it's going to be one of that one. It's going to be that one. So anyway, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, would help me out, and of course stay humble. I'll see you again soon on the next one.